welcome to Basement Movie Room yet again.
Okay, so
we watched Milk and Cereal. That's Serial, and this is a film from what's his name? We saw his name, but That's a Bad Idea on YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's a duo of guys that make comedy videos. Curry Barker. Got it.
Yes.
So it's like the first, I guess, feature film from Curry Barker. He wrote, directed it, along with, he had his That's a Bad Idea co-star Cooper Tomlinson in the movie as well. So this movie is a found footage film. It's available on YouTube for free. It's only about an hour long, so you can get through it pretty quickly, but it's pretty excellent, to be honest. So the movie
came out in
3 weeks ago.
Oh, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, 2024. Okay. So 3 weeks ago it came out. Getting pretty good reviews online. I think Curry's also getting offers to do like a more studio film at this point because of it. But basically it follows these two guys that have a prank bros on YouTube is what they call it in the movie. So they have a prank bros channel where they play pranks on each other and other people, it looks like. And the opening of it, we're following Cooper's character named Seven. His name is Steve, but he's the seventh Steve in his family, so they call him Seven. And Marshall, who they call Milk. So Milk and Cereal comes from his name. So Seven is talking about this prank they're going to play. They're setting up the prank on their buddy Milk for his birthday. And they're going out to buy a gun with blanks, essentially, to play a prank that somebody gets killed at his birthday party. So they go to the birthday party, and they're hanging out with some friends. There's like 3 or 4 other people there. And there's a knock at the door, and they invite this other guy in. And there's a whole scene where they get the gun as well with this crazy guy that they buy the gun from. But basically the opening of the actual movie is where they're at the birthday party, and this random guy shows up, and Seven's like, oh, I invited him, he's a friend of mine, and Milk is like upset about this, like, why is there some random person at my party, I don't know them. And then Curry goes upstairs to kind of hide away because he's kind of pissed about this, and he hears a gunshot, and they go back downstairs, and this random guy has shot one of the girls at the party and killed her. But then it's like, oh no, it's just a prank. Yeah. That's they played a prank on him, and he's like, oh, you really got me. Oh my god, I can't believe it. And then all of a sudden there's this knock at the door, and this random like creepy old guy who looked like Bruce Dern.
Yes. Yeah, we were both like, oh.
He's like, hey, I got kids that got to go to school tomorrow. You guys need to keep it down and all that. And he's very weird.
They had his face blurred.
Yeah, his face, you couldn't really see him. He had his head down, I think. And so, they're talking to him, and he's like being really creepy. So this guy's really creepy and saying all this stuff, and like, okay, we'll calm down. And then the party kind of ends, and Milk's character kind of leaves the house with a couple of guys, a couple of the party guests, to go to 7-Eleven, and they run into this creepy guy like down on the corner. And Milk's like kind of an asshole to him, knocks his hat off, messes with him. The guy's kind of crazy, acting like he's off his rocker a little bit. And so the other guy with him is like, oh man, you shouldn't do that. That's like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, And so that kind of ends the scene there. They go back to the apartment, and then the next day, Milk and Seven, who live together in this apartment, go downstairs, and this creepy guy's sitting on their couch and just like being weird, like not talking or anything, and they're like freaking out that this guy's in there, and they like leave the room, and the guy disappears. And then they find him like upstairs. When they're looking for him, he's upstairs, and he says all this crazy stuff about a girl inside of his head, and that religion ruined his life, and all this crazy stuff. And like Seven's calling the police. And then, Milk comes up there and it's like, oh, no, I talked to the guy. He's cool. He's just, he's really lonely. Mm-hmm. And, like, we're going to have dinner with him, tonight or tomorrow night or something like that. And Seven's freaking out about this. Like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? And it's like, yeah, I called the police off. And I told him not to come. It's just a misunderstanding. And so the guy does leave. And we kind of get some behind the scenes stuff from Milk all of a sudden, where he's creeping a bit. To be honest, he's in the car, like
starting to debilitate,
like acting
mentally
crazy, and like one of the girls that was at the party comes over the next day and is like freaking out because her girlfriend broke up with her. That was at the party. They met her at the party. Her name was Laura, and she's like, "Oh, Laura broke up with me. She did it over text," and she's freaking out. And then when Milk's making this video, he's like, "I have Laura's jacket. I took it, from the party." And he's like, "I know I said I wouldn't do this stuff anymore." And he's just talking crazy. And you're starting to get an idea that maybe Milk has some issues. Milk has some serious issues. And it's called Milk and Cereal, Serial. So that gives you an idea of what kind of movie this kind of is. So we get caught on to Milk's plot that he's doing another prank on Seven. And this crazy guy is a guy he met on the street that's an actor that he's hired to act crazy, and he's setting up some kind of prank on Seven. And he says it's going to be the best prank ever. Now, we haven't caught on to that Milk's a psychopath yet. It's going to come up. But you're getting little bits and pieces of him being a psychopath. So throughout this, you're kind of getting Seven's camera, because it's found footage, Seven's camera and Milk's camera. So Milk's camera, he's always acting kind of crazy, talking like really, really weird stuff that he's doing. And then we get a scene where they go to dinner with this guy. But in between that, you get a scene of Milk going to Laura's house. And I can't remember if these scenes are in direct order. It's kind of out of order a little bit, but Milk calls Laura and says, "Oh, I'm with Naomi, the girlfriend of Laura. This is before they broke up, and we were out hopping bars, and I realized you left my jacket at your house, and this is the jacket he said he stole earlier, and oh, Naomi says we're close by, so I'm gonna come to your house." And then he's acting like he's driving and can't find the place, and he gets her to text him his address. So she texts him his address. And he's like, "Oh no, he's talking to the camera. He's like, "Oh, I got to get her to the car. Let's see if I can get her to the car." And she comes out and she walks over to the car because she thinks Naomi's in the car, her girlfriend. And he chloroforms her and takes her hostage and takes her to his little murder garage that he has. So there we see that he's killed. He's killed other people. He has an ear and some other stuff in there, and he has Laura chained up there, and he's going to kill her. But he hasn't killed her yet, and come to find out, he doesn't kill her till later in the movie. Only keeps her alive, not without food and water for a few days, basically. So after that, they have dinner with the crazy man, who's an actor. He's acting his part, and Bruce Dern, yes, Bruce Dern, not Bruce Dern,
not Bruce Dern.
So they have dinner with him, and they both apparently were drugged, and he takes them out to the desert, and he has a gun on him. And the gun that they used earlier that had blanks in it happens to be there. He has that gun. So it's supposed to have blanks in it. He throws it in between them and says, "Okay, I'm either going to kill both of you, or one of you has to kill the other, and I'll let the other one go." Yeah. So they're like, freaking out, and the guy is like, "Okay, fine, you're not going to do it." And he starts to take a shot, and Seven picks up the gun and shoots. And that's when Milk says, "Oh, I got you, man. This is all a prank." And he's like, "Oh, this is a prank." They're all like, Seven's like happy he didn't kill a guy. Then they realize the guy's actually dead. Of course, this was Milk's whole plan. He put actual bullets in the gun. You'll see a video of that later. And so, because he's a psychopath, and he wanted to basically set Seven up for this, essentially, to get to a plan we'll discuss here shortly. Because he's, like I said, this is intercut with videos of Milk talking about his plans and what he's doing and how he met the actor.
And the crazy mask.
He's got this clear mask with eyebrows on it. It's like a bank robber mask type thing. And like, with Laura, and he's talking, and he's like, just craziness. And you have to watch it to understand it. I can't bring it across in a review very well, but he's excellent in the role. To be honest, he really is, and so is Cooper Tomlinson. He's excellent in the role of Seven.
All the acting's pretty well done.
Pretty well done. So they accidentally kill this guy, And so, Seven's freaking out. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And of course, Milk has a plan. It's like, we got to get some shovels. And he's like, oh, do you have shovels in the car? He's like, no, I don't have shovels in the car. So they have to load the body up on a tarp that they happen to have, put it in the back of the car, and drive to Home Depot to get shovels. And when he sends in Seven to get the shovels, and he's like, I'll get 2 shovels and a pickaxe and, to help break the ground. And he sends him in, like, as soon as he gets out of the car, he's like, oh, I've ruined it. I forgot the shovels, He was going to have them in the car already. So they're sitting at Home Depot, and there's a cop in the parking lot. That's a great scene. I won't go into that too much, how the cop gets involved. But they don't get caught at that point. And they go back out there, and they bury... Greg is the actor's name. That's his real name. So they bury him, and they go back to their apartment. Meanwhile, the actor's son, who knew that Milk hired him, comes looking for him at the apartment, and they're like, oh no, he left, he dropped us off last night and then left, we got the prank all done and all this. And so the son's like, oh, okay, and then the son kind of volunteers information that he may have gone to Vegas because he's done that before, with the money they gave him. So, that kind of goes away, but it does come back because they decide to text the son from the guy's phone, which they still have, that he's in Vegas, and he's like, oh, I was tracking my dad's phone, and was he here? And they're like, oh yeah, he was just here, and he left and went to the store or whatever. And he's like, oh man, so he doesn't catch him right there. But from that interaction, Milk decides to convince Seven that they need to kill this guy because he's gonna figure it out. So they plan a whole killing where Seven's got to get this guy in the bathroom, and then they just kill him. It's a pretty brutal scene, to be honest, where they kill the guy. And
good job with the special effect, or the blood and all that.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. And then Seven's like just traumatized from this whole incident, and then. In the meantime, we see Milk kill Laura. He's
just laying in the bathtub.
Yeah, he's just laying in the bathtub. There's a scene of Milk killing Laura. And there's also a scene while they're dealing with this guy in the bathroom and stuff of the two friends, Naomi and the other guy, I can't remember his name, finding like Milk's like stash of blood vials underneath his bed that he has from his murders.
Yeah.
And then we get a speech from Milk there after they killed the guy and they're disposing of his body, of his plan and what he's done. He's like, Seven was going to be my 6th kill, but now he's going to be my 7th. And the best part is, I'm not going to kill him. I'm doing all this to make him kill himself. And then you get the ending, which I won't spoil the ending. I'll spoil the rest of the movie, but I won't spoil the ending. But the ending's pretty excellent. How it kind of goes down.
Handled pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it was an excellent. But it's only like an hour long, and really good stuff from these guys.
I'd check it out. Yeah,
it's on YouTube. It's free, so you can check it out free. It's got about 500,000 views. It should have way more than that, to be honest.
It's totally different from their content.
Oh, it's a lot different from their regular content, the comedy content, which is hilarious as well if you get a chance to check them out all together. But yeah, That's a Bad Idea made this movie. So, all right, so what'd you think?
Oh, I was impressed.
Yeah.
It was interesting that, for found footage, it is what it is, but like the effects were great with the the killing, and the story itself had nice twists and turns.
It's a pretty good story.
And like you said, not going to spoil the ending.
Yeah,
but it's well worth it.
Yeah, the ending is worth watching.
It's a good hour watch.
It's a little jarring at first because it's found footage, so there's a lot of blurry camera and things like they're not.
And they blur out people.
They do blur out people. Guy's face. That guy
at first.
That guy at the start.
Then they let him in.
Are you recording this?
Yeah.
And he's like, no. He's like, yeah, we're doing it for the prank and all. He's like, you can't record this, and they just do it
because they're doing it. They're doing it all for YouTube. You see the guy's face
completely in there, in that scene in the van where they're buying the gun. But yeah, it's a little jarring at first, but you got to give it a chance. The cameras and things never get that much better on purpose.
It's a nice little creepy watch.
Yeah, it is. Kind kind of seeing the mind of a serial killer essentially, and kind of what his thoughts are and how unhinged he really is, even though nobody actually knows that around him. So yeah, I thought it was excellent. I thought it's well worth checking out. And supposedly Curry Barker's getting some movie deal interest on this stuff, which he deserves. He deserves. He deserves a chance to do something bigger for sure.
Yeah, it was a well put together skit. I guess you could call it. It's a movie.
It's a feature.
But check it out.
Yeah, I would definitely check it out. All right. There's no soundtrack. There's a little bit of music, which Curry Barker did as well. Just the minor music in it, but it's not much to that. But he did a good job on that, though.
I don't think there's any stock.
No,
that kind of stuff.
No, he did it all himself. Apparently, is what it said in the credits. But yeah, so we can go to rating now. I think on this one.
How do you rate this one?
Rate it
on a short film?
I mean, it's almost feature length. It's only 8 minutes short of feature length.
Yeah,
it's usually 70 minutes to be feature length. So technically a short film.
It's a tough one.
But it's an hour. But, you can rate it on the normal scale. You can rate it however you want to. You go ahead.
Man, I would give it... Are we going out of 5?
That's what I do.
For what it is, I would give it a 4.
That's what I was going to give it.
Yeah.
A 4 out of 5. Yeah. It's definitely worth watching. Definitely in for YouTube, you're not going to... You got Balin's route, and you got this. These guys, these comedy guys making movies. Of course, Viva La Dirt League did more comedy. These guys went to a more thriller horror genre.
A little more cynical.
Yeah, it's pretty excellent. I give it a 4 out of 5 every day, for sure. And look forward to seeing... what Curry Barker does moving forward.
Watch it to the very end.
Yeah.
Till there's nothing left
Catch
of the movie.
Final little scene.
Yes. It's like a split second.
Yeah. It's very small.
Yeah.
But
it's important.
It is. It is. All right. So that's Milk and Cereal. You can get that on YouTube on That's a Bad Idea's YouTube channel. Sure, you can just find it by searching on Google as well. But Milk and Cereal, SERIA. Yeah.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah. Prank Bros. Yeah, but check it out for sure. It's a good one.